All right, well, we are here to do a final thought. Couple things. I'm going to try something different. I'm just going to sit here and record my thoughts, and then hopefully overlay it to some hiking. The other thing is, I am on the top of a mountain right now, so I apologize for the wildlife that's around here, but I don't know if you can hear that bird in the background, but we are in the Adirondacks, so I guess it's appropriate, right? So the final thoughts are for the book that I had grabbed from the Little Free Library as part of my Little Free Library picks, my TBR. And the name of the book is The Bottoms, and it's by J.R. Landsdale. I picked this book because David from David's Book Reviews, he was, I think, my second subscriber back when I started this last month. And I wanted to pay him back by I know he's a big horror fan, so I wanted to pay him back by trying to find a horror book to read so that I could review it. But this was the closest thing I could find out of those five little free libraries. And basically, this is a suspense novel. It's not a horror. So I'm going to talk about this book today. It was released in 2000, and it's set in the 1930s in East Texas. Our main character is Harry Crane, and what we're doing here, what the way the book is written, it's through the eyes of Harry Crane, and he's like 80 years old, and he's coming to the end of his life, and he's basically just telling a story of his life when he was like 11 or 12, which puts us, like I said, in the early 1930s, the Great Depression. I will say that there was a massive amount of racism in this book. So if you're triggered by the N word, if you're triggered by lynching, yeah, you might want to pass on this. But I suppose if you're reading horrors, if you're reading horror books, these things probably don't bother you. But I know that a good chunk of my subscribers might not approve of this. So the warning is there. What I will say is, I guess I'll just start off. I gave it a 3.5. I felt out of five. I'm sorry, a 3.5 out of five. I felt that it was an R8 book. Part of me thinks when I was reading it, I don't want to say I was bored, but it was just kind of like, I don't know. It was average. I would say it was like a 3 for me the entire time I was reading it, and then kind of the ending jumped it up a little bit. Overall, I think it was good. But I guess I should tell you what the story of it is. It's about the main character Harry Crane, like I said, and when he was 11 or 12, him and his sister were out. They call it the Bottoms. Um, I guess it's a creek, river, swampy area type place where they would hang out. And him and his sister came across this woman that was a black woman who was tied to a tree with barbed wire and cut up and murdered, clearly. And they went home and told their father, who this again was during the Great Depression. So this guy he did haircuts. He was a barber, self-taught. So I don't know how good the haircuts were back then. Um, he was part-time constable. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. The town that they're in wasn't big enough to have a actual police force or a police officer or a sheriff or whatever. So he kind of was the law, and basically he did some farming off, lived off the fat of the land, right? Isn't that what they say? So yeah, he is the law in this area. So he went, got this woman out of there, and the town that they're in is super racist, and basically if a black woman is murdered, they don't care. If it was a white woman, they would have cared. So what he ends up doing is he goes to another town where it's a town where a bunch of black people are, and the doctor there is black. So he has that doctor look the body over and try to come up with a reason, and just look it over and see if he can figure anything out. Clearly, they didn't have the forensics that they have nowadays, but the story is basically about that. There's more murders throughout the book, and the little boy and his sister and his grandmother are like trying to solve and help the father out, and determining who's doing this. The father is getting flack from the town. Ku Klux Klan members visit him at one point, and he doesn't back down. He's one of the few white folks that aren't racist in this book, in a town full of racists. Uh, yeah, he struggles. I don't want to give too much of the book away. I really don't think too many. I'm probably not going to recommend this book. I don't know. I don't think I would. I don't think I would recommend it. It's okay. Yeah, so I guess I'm really not too worried about ruining it for anybody. But the father, there's some stuff that happens during this that the father starts to lose it and becomes somewhat of an alcoholic, and I don't know. There's ups and downs. Overall, I would say it ends relatively well, with the exception of the very end. It's like actually quite depressing. So yeah, I'm gonna go out there, official record, and not recommend this book, even though I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I guess I'm gonna end it here as far as what the book's about, because I don't know. If I'm not recommending it, I don't really know what else to talk about without just being a bunch of spoilers. But if you're interested in a book about trying to solve a murder in a racist town, with a little kid and his sister and his grandmother trying to help the father, this might be up your alley. What I will do here is I did look up some facts. I'll probably read it because I'm not sure how I wrote it all down, and I don't remember it all too well. But so the fact is, for this, in 2014, the book was being co-produced for a movie by the author, Bill Paxton, and Brad Wyman. So it looks like they were trying to make this book into a movie back in 2014. I'm not sure if anybody knows. I'm going to go into a little more detail, but Bill Paxton died in 2017, and it said that it was making any. He died in 2007, making any further plans uncertain. So the rabbit hole I go down on this now has nothing to do with the book. It has to do with Bill Paxton, because he's actually in a couple of movies that I love. Aliens, the original. He's an idiot in that movie, but he's a clown. And he's also in Twisters, which is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. Anytime that thing comes on TV, it's on. I don't care how many times I watched it, but yeah, I kind of liked him. I'm sure he's in a lot of other stuff, but those are the two movies that I know of. And I decided to look it up because I realized he passed away, but I also realized that for somebody that I kind of liked in those movies, I didn't really pay attention to it. So I looked up what happened, and he underwent open heart surgery to repair damage to a valve. And the next day, he had to go in for emergency surgery to repair a damaged coronary artery, is what it says. So it looks like something may have happened during the main surgery that caused the second surgery to have to happen. And his conditions worsened. And 10 days later, he died of a stroke. So now I know, and now you know, how Bill Paxton passed away. The only other little fact I have here is the family filed a wrongful death lawsuit, and they reached a partial settlement for $1 million. So I guess whatever else was in this settlement, they did not disclose, but the family did get a whopping $1 million for what they deemed was wrongful death. So yeah. Otherwise, I think this is just going to be a short and sweet one. Wasn't anything spectacular, so I think I'm just going to end it so I'm not rambling. I don't think I have any other final thoughts on this. Yeah, let's just call it what it is. It's over. All right. Thank you for watching, and I will talk at you all later. Bye-bye.